Welcome to the Leadership and Learning Podcast with Dr. JBT, where we dive deep into the art of leadership for emerging and advancing leaders. Whether you're just starting out or looking to sharpen your skills, this podcast is your go-to resource. We'll explore real-world scenarios, actionable solutions, and expert advice with insights drawn from Dr. JBT's own experiences and interviews with seasoned leaders. If you're serious about growing as a leader, you've come to the right place. Hi, my name is Dr. Jamie Brownlee-Turgeon, aka Dr. JBT. Welcome to the first Leadership and Learning Podcast. I've spent years developing leaders and mentoring their growth, so you might be wondering, why am I now doing a podcast? Well, a few years ago, I started tracking the questions that leaders brought my way. I eventually asked a few of them why they brought me these questions. The answer, who else am I going to ask? I can't take it to my boss. She's too busy. Or he thinks I already know how to do this. Or I don't want her to think that I don't know what I'm doing. Or even worse, my problem is my boss. I'm sure some of you resonate with that. Well, I realized that through all of these experiences, I could have a greater reach with more people through a podcast. I hope my experiences and those of my seasoned colleagues have an impact on your growth. Why do I care about leadership development? Well, I firmly believe that we all have high potential and have the ability to reach and exceed it. We don't use the phrase natural born leader anymore because we now know that leadership is a set of knowledge, skills, and attributes that can be learned. Yes, learned. I see organizations launching leadership development programs, and don't get me wrong, these programs are a really good start. I teach in many of these programs. However, who gets to be included in the programs? Typically only a select few. Either they already have the role, they're already in a leadership role, their boss decides they want to offer them more development, but what if the boss isn't paying attention or doesn't believe in the training or doesn't want to invest the time for that leader? People miss out. People miss out all the time. The key to reaching our potential is learning and growth. We don't accidentally get there. I didn't want to limit the dialogue. This podcast is about getting leadership development into your hands, regardless of your current title or years of experience, so that you can reach and exceed your potential. Leadership development should be available to anyone who wants to grow and learn. And leadership is about influence, and you don't need an official title to be one. I also firmly believe in paying it forward. I like to see companies with great leaders at every level. Unfortunately, it's not always the case. But imagine just for a moment if every leader in your organization invested in the development of their leaders and emerging leaders on the team. Can you imagine the kind of culture an organization could have, if every leader invested in the next? It is a way to multiply the effectiveness and investment of each contributor. People who feel invested in pay it forward. I firmly believe growth is much easier when we support one another and learn from one another. And lastly, people deserve to have good leaders. Gone are the days when people have to fear coming into work, get yelled at or critiqued for every little thing. Well, let's face it, those days should be gone, okay? People deserve to have good leaders. They deserve to come to work and feel valued, appreciated, and have a sense of belonging. They deserve to have the opportunity to achieve and thrive in the workplace. Leaders impact individuals' ability to have this experience, so we need to invest in our leaders. I've spent some time considering what would make this podcast valuable for you. And here's how I'm seeing this go. I want to answer your questions. So I've pulled a few examples from some that I've received previously, such as, how do I lead someone who gets defensive? How do I build collaborative relationships with people who want to work in a silo? How do I get buy-in on a major change I want to implement? Hey, my team is burned out. How do I motivate them? How do I keep my top performers engaged if I can't promote them? I want to talk about leadership topics such as motivation and its impact on performance and employee satisfaction. Such a massive topic. Let's unpack it. Leading change and what to do when people resist it. And let's face it, people resist change. Now what do leaders do? And let's just face it, we also have a number of crises in our organizations, big, small. How do leaders lead through one? And better yet, how can we avert it if it's possible? I hope you can tell by now that I'm passionate about leadership development. I want to help equip emerging leaders with the knowledge, skills, and attributes they will need. I want to help refine advancing leaders with what is needed as they further their leadership level and experience. If you have specific questions that you want answered in an upcoming podcast, please email Dr. JBT, that's drjbt leadership@gmail.com. So drjbt.leadership@gmail.com. If you want me to mention you by name and or tag you in your social media, please leave your full name and consent to mention you by name. Leadership and Learning with Dr. JBT, signing off.